Well, moving on now, Japan is finally seeing something policymakers spent decades trying to create: sustained inflation, rising wages, and an economy moving away from its long deflationary era. But there is a problem. For many Japanese pensioners, the so-called economic revival is being felt not as prosperity but as a higher cost of living. The prices have been rising faster than any or many older households can actually comfortably absorb it, creating a political backlash and exposing a deeper divide over who is actually benefiting from Japan's economic turnaround. We'll take a look at our next report for more details on this.
For years, Japan had the opposite problem. Prices barely moved and deflation became a defining feature of the economy. Now the equation has flipped. Consumer inflation has remained above 2% for roughly 3 years, driven particularly by food prices. For the Bank of Japan, that is a major change. Its target is a 2% inflation, and policymakers now see signs that rising wages and prices are beginning to reinforce each other. But what looks positive in an economic report can feel very different at the checkout counter. Food prices have been a particular source of pain. In one recent survey, nearly 200 major food manufacturers were expected to raise prices on 2,105 products, with the average increase around 15%. For pensioners living largely on fixed incomes, repeated price increases can quickly eat into the household budgets. And this is where Japan's inflation paradox comes in. The economy needs prices to rise after decades of deflation. But inflation only becomes genuinely beneficial if incomes rise faster than prices. Japan has seen strong wage growth for 3 consecutive years, helped by an exceptionally tight labor market. The Bank of Japan says wage increases in the 2026 spring negotiations are likely to remain high following substantial increases in 2024 and 2025. That is the good news. Companies are raising wages, businesses are more willing to pass high labor costs into prices, and the government wants Japan to move towards a cycle where higher wages support consumption, higher demand supports business, and business investment drives growth. But retirees don't necessarily participate in that cycle in the same way. Their income does not automatically rise whenever companies raise salaries, so even if Japan's economy is becoming healthier overall, older households can feel poorer when everyday prices rise faster than their purchasing power. The consequences go beyond household budgets. The Bank of Japan is now dealing with a very different economy, one where inflation is no longer something it is desperately trying to create. The central bank has been gradually moving away from its ultra-loose monetary policy. Japan's benchmark rate is now around 1%, its highest level in decades, although it remains low by international standards. And policymakers face a delicate balancing act. Raise rates enough to contain inflation, but not so aggressively that they damage consumption and economic growth. That tension is increasingly political. Japan is an aging society, and pensioners represent a large and politically important section of the population. So the question is no longer simply whether Japan can escape deflation. It is whether the benefits of the new inflationary economy are reaching everyone, or whether older Japanese are paying the price for the country's economic revival. This is Bureau Report. WION World is One.